Hey, it's me, it's PLD.
I'm Richard Eric Jarvey,
This is fucking class action, yeah? What, you fucking mugs?
the classiest movie show on the interwebs.
Yeah, fucking all right then.
Jarvey that was something. That was definitely something
Sorry,
to
mate.
behold. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's something to behold.
See, he went for like the gentleman-y, and I just went for council state trash. Kind of like Eggsy.
You went for pleb. Is
I
that
think
a
we're
word that
pleb.
you can say?
Pleb.
Yes, you can say pleb. Pleb is
Pleb.
exactly the same as like plonker, idiot.
Plonker. I don't know if I knew
Plonker.
plonker.
Have you ever watched it's an older British TV show, Only Fools and Horses?
No, I never did.
Okay.
Never did. So I don't know what
Only
you're talking
falls
about.
on horses?
Only Fools and Horses.
Oh, well, that sounds super British.
It is very British. I highly recommend it. It's a great show. It's very funny.
All right, I'll take your word for it for now. I have so many other shows, my cues. I'm not even going to make the statement. Oh, I'll put it on my list. That statement you make when you say you're going to put something on your list, and it's really not going to go on your list. I'm not even going to do that. I won't even give you that. Kelly W. There you go. Since I've started Ted Lasso, wanker. That's true.
Wanker. Yeah.
Speaking of Ted
that
Lasso,
one's a little bit more like direct if you call someone a wanker, but like if say, Paul, you plonker. That's just like me saying you're an idiot.
Gotcha. Speaking of Ted Lasso, March 15th, the announcement was made. Return, season 3. The teaser is out.
Yes.
So good. So
yes,
good.
Are they over?
Sorry, go on.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, Jarvey.
Finish.
No, I was just going to say I can finally go out in Richmond without a bunch of fucking tourists around.
What do you got, Jarvey?
I wanted to ask you, does it start overlapping with The Mandalorian?
Well, it's two different franchises. They're two different.
No. Yeah, but I mean,
services.
time-wise.
No, because they're on. Oh, is it on March 15th? Is that a?
Yeah, so that's a Wednesday.
Oh Jesus!
I mean like not the same day, but just the same period when they're.
Oh, we have Mandalorian starts March 1st.
Yeah,
Mandalorian starts March 1st, so that's already that's coming up very soon. We have to start going from a weekly podcast to a 2 times a week podcast for Maddie and me for Holy Stokes for that. We have Bad Batch and Mandalorian. But I love it. I can't wait.
I feel bad for friend Alex Damon. He loves Ted Lasso, so he's gonna be covering all the Star Wars stuff and trying to watch Ted Lasso.
Wow, that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough. Huh? I'm almost glad we don't have a Ted Lasso podcast. That would make it really tough.
Don't tempt me.
I know. Don't tempt me either. Don't tempt me.
Shout out to Ben Bateman. He's the one that got me in the Ted Lasso. Like the one that like gave me the final push to watch it, because so many people were like, you got to watch this. We want to know what an Englishman who knows and understands football thinks of this show. And I was like, okay, I'll watch it. Fine.
It's good to know that you don't take our opinions well, and you have to wait for Ben Bateman to push you. I can't take that. Okay.
To be fair, you're not even one of the ones that did.
Really? I thought that doesn't sound like me. I pushed out everybody to that show. Okay. All right. Fine. Speaking of British, we have a great movie we're discussing today.
Why the fuck did I agree to this?
You can't say the T. It's got to go like British.
British. The Kingsman, Secret Service, and it's taking on Kick-Ass. 2 Matthew Vaughn directed, Mark Millar adaptations. Mark Millar, top of the morning to you.
That's Irish, no nuts.
Whatever. I'm going differently now. I'm going to go all over the map. But this was a great match.
It's not the same thing.
Same old. Whatever. You're all European to me.
Oof. Wow.
Accent-wise, I can't do any accents, honestly. I'd start in Brooklyn. I'd slip over to Japanese, and it'd be all over the place, and it would be done.
Japanese.
I would go all
Brooklyn.
Over the place. I don't
do that now.
I can't do accents. I can't maintain an accent. That's why I'm not a voice actor.
I could probably do it. I could probably do a Brooklyn one.
Now, Mark Strong did a pretty good Italian New York accent.
Yeah.
Kick-ass. Kick-ass. It's kick-ass.
Could we do an Estonian movie next week? So I can try.
I can do an Estonian accent very well also. It is the most horrible accent you will ever hear.
Well, I mean, you are Estonian, so if you could do the accent.
But is there an Estonian movie we could even do? I don't even know when that we could.
We have very bad movies in Estonia.
That's what Richard Jarvey has always told me. So
complete crap here.
Don't worry, don't worry, Kelly. I won't. I would never. I could never do that at this point. It was a joke. Even as a joke, I won't. God. Let's go to the real show, so the accents wise. Kick-Ass versus Kingsman: The Secret Service. This should be a lot of fun. Of course, we do in class action. We put the films, in this case, the films up against each other, and talk about 5 custom-made categories. And we see which one comes out on top. But first of all, we play a game, and I'm actually sad to say, because I was so busy this morning, I recorded an episode of Two Mediocre White Dudes on Film this morning, that I did not get a chance to make my wheel for our recast. So I think we should just go back, revert to the old school. What would Ed Harris play, instead of doing the wheel around, because I don't have it ready. So I'm good with that. I know Jarvis has not prepared, because I can tell by that look at his face and how he's scouring the wiki page, the IMDb page to find something.
I never do.
What would Ed Harris play? Because Ed Harris is a staple of class action, a staple of PLD projects, the greatest character actor of all time. He always makes every movie he's in better. How do you make Kick-Ass or Kingsman better by adding Ed Harris to what role would you put him in? What do you add a new role? Do you replace somebody in there? Maddie, I'm going to start with you. I'll let you pick the movie, though. I'll be nice and let you pick the movie you want to go.
Okay, let's just get the English bullshit out of the way. I'm just gonna. This is complete sacrilege. This is complete sacrilege. What I'm about to do.
Oh boy! Oh boy!
I'm sorry, Sir Michael Caine. Ed Harris is going in as Arthur.
Wow. Okay. Well, that makes sense. It is a perfect kind of role for him. The evil, almost shit weasel type of role. Okay. It is a little sacrilegious as well, but I'll give it to you. Jarvis, what about you?
I've got several options.
Okay.
But I think I'm going to go with the Lancelot role that Jack Davenport plays. He has a small role. It's the guy that finishes his training in the beginning of the movie and then gets killed when he comes up to Mark Hamill's house.
Right.
But he has a freaking awesome action sequence. And I feel like it would be just enough for Ed Harris to, prep for this one big actiony role that he could do and then fuck off for the rest of the movie.
I like that. I'm going to go with that. Okay, that's fine. That's a good call. Kelly is agreeing with Maddie for the Harris replacing Kane, it looks like. That's a good call for you. What I'm going to say is I'm going to write a new role for him. I'm going to take this as if Kingsman, the Golden Circle, does not exist. Does not exist at this point. We're just doing the Kingsman. This is like 2014. Going back to the day, I'm creating a new role for Ed Harris, the American side of the Kingsman. Ed Harris is going to be Michael Caine's. Ed Harris is going to be Galahad's counterpart, and that when everything goes to shit, Galahad has to reach out to Ed Harris, and Ed Harris has to help save the day.
Are you saying that Ed Harris is going to be Channing Tatum?
Pretty much, except for better, much better.
Just him with cowboy boots on, dancing in the hallway.
Yes, that is exactly it. I'm going to put
but dancing like in Magic Mike.
100%. He could totally outdance Channing Tatum and Michael.
To Pony.
Magic Mike. If you've never seen Ed Harris dance, we know that Ed Harris can dance like a motherfucker. So Ed Harris.
Can he?
Have you ever seen Creepshow?
Okay, that's another movie that I've never heard of. So okay, PLD.
Have you ever seen The Lost Daughter?
Name all the movies where Ed Harris dances. Go.
Creepshow and The Lost Daughter. Those are the two big ones.
Two movies? Okay.
They're good, though. They're very good.
The Lost Daughter. He dances in The Lost Daughter. I've seen that one.
He does.
With Olivia Colman?
Yeah, it's a Bon Jovi. That little moment in the Bon Jovi has the hat on. He's doing the dances there. He's good. It's good.
Okay.
I bet he dances like Van Damme in Kickboxer.
Better than Van Damme. Come on. Van Damme it. No way. All right, Jarvis, I'm getting it to you. You've bought enough time for you now for at least for one of them. Kingsman or Kick-Ass? I'll let you do either.
I already did Kingsman.
Oh, you did? Oh, did. Okay. That's right. Sorry. So go back to Kick-Ass.
Yeah, I went with Lancelot. Kick-Ass is way tougher. But, I mean, I do want to see Yeah, I do want to see Ed Harris and Nick Cage sort of have that bond between them. So I would recast Ed Harris as the cop. I know I'm
Oh,
whitewashing here, so that's not a good look, but I feel like Ed Harris as this father figure who takes over after Nick Cage bites it.
that's a good role. That's a good role for him. Yes, absolutely. I like that. Yeah, no, I want to see Nick Cage. I actually thought about taking Nick Cage out and putting Ed Harris in
Yeah.
because Ed Harris would be wacky that way. I do like that idea because I want to see that happen, but I do kind of see Cage in it as well still. So what I'm going to do is replace another great supporting actor for Ed Harris. I'm going to put him in the Xander Berkeley role, Detective
Oh yeah,
Gigante.
he's in the movie.
The crazy kind of whacked out, because it still gives Ed Harris a little bit of range because it's easy. He could fit in the Mark Strong role very easily. He could fit as Mark Strong's right hand man very easily. We'll give him that little role where he's like almost a little cocained out, a little bit like I don't know what to do, that kind of thing. I'd like to see him tackle a different side of him in a way. So that's where I'd put him.
You can have him as Hit Girl. That'd be
That'd be awesome. That would be great. He would whip the
Hit
shit out of that
Harris.
role. Yeah. Come on, cunts.
You're down there. We're up here.
You're down there.
You walked in the wrong. Why is he in Batman now? You walked into the wrong room.
Good question. What about you, Maddie? What do you got?
This is the one where I go obscure as fuck with it. He's gonna be Tony, the crime boss that gets set up, the one you only see on the TV.
And we don't like Tony. He's a prick. That's cheap. That's cheap, Maddie. You don't get the great Ed Harris a line.
Do you know who I was originally going to put him as in Kingsman?
What?
The microwave? Oh, no.
In Kingsman, I was going to have him play himself, and he'd be one of the celebrities that gets kidnapped and sent to the island.
Oh, yes, dude. That was the winner.
That's what you should have done.
That was the winner.
That was the winner.
That's a cop out.
No.
Okay, well, I'm changing my pick then.
Definitely.
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. All right. That's the okay. So
it means his head blows up at the end.
Oh yeah.
It could also be that he tries to offer Taron Egerton a prize if he saves the world.
Yasser? Christo, I tuned in the first thing.
Was that a Swedish accent you did?
I think it might have been. I don't know. The first thing I hear is "Come on, cunts!" Hey, Chris, that's how we roll here. So, all right, let's get into the rest of the show now. At ER, do we have 5 custom-made categories to put these 2 amazing films up against each other? I'm kind of curious, actually, because I do have something I want to say first. Now I think about it, a precursor, if you will. It had been a long time since I watched either of these films. I love them both, but it's definitely been a while. And I watched Kingsman over the weekend, and I went, God, Kick-Ass has no fucking chance in this. Like, Kingsman is just so perfect, so awesome. And I remember Kick-Ass fondly, but I'm like, it's nowhere near as cool as Kingsman. And then I watched Kick-Ass, and I went, ooh, we actually might have a fight. We actually might have a fight on Harris, because I actually was impressed how much I liked Kingsman or Kick-Ass as well. So my precursor is saying I think that I do think I think that Kingsman is going to be the winner, but I'm very interested to see if it loses now that I've said that. Do you have a first? Exactly. What again? Did you guys have any first thoughts on what you thought were going to win?
I think
Kingsman. Ooh,
interesting, Maddie. Okay. All right, fair. All right, let's get into it then. We'll find out. Let's find out.
So we're going Kingsman, Kick-Ass.
There you go. We'll find out if we're the kings and we kick your ass or you kick our ass. We'll find out.
Or Kickman.
All right, we got the trial on hands. PJ is also in Kingsman, by the way. Kingsman, PJ Campbell in the chat, always on Kingsman. And Crystal, loving the 2002 look on you, Jarvie. I guess that's what you look like in 2002.
I mean, Derek Rose wasn't playing back then, but...
All right, fair enough. We got the trial on hand now. Better heroes, better villains, better mission or story, better action, and better music. So let's start off the bat with better heroes. Maddie, it's a British movie, so we'll start with you. Just because I want to make you grumble again about saying British.
What ever. See, we do pronounce our T's. Thank you very much. I'm gonna give this to Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass?
Why?
Okay.
Not only is Nick Cage fucking man,
Okay.
not only is Chloe Grace Moretz fucking sweet. Which one of us didn't want to be a superhero as a teenager? Shit, I want to be one now. Like, and that story speaks to like our inner childhood. Like growing up, I didn't want to be James Bond. I wanted to be Batman. I wanted to be, Spider-Man. I wanted to be Wolverine. Ultimately, this comes down to something, and this is an argument I've used on this show before. Javi, I'm sorry, I have to do it. What kind of a fucking hero shoots their dog?
He doesn't.
Bro, blank or live round, regardless.
No, Taron doesn't. Doesn't fire. He gets kicked out.
Okay, but Galahad did.
Oh, Galahad did. Yeah, he's a fucker.
And the chick, what's her fucking name? The girl that becomes Lancelot. Roxy shoots her dog.
She does.
What kind of hero shoots a dog, bro?
That's a fucked up moment. That is why none of us, or at least me and Maddie, could never become a Kingsman agent. I'm like 110% sure.
No, Maddie would never. It's actually funny when you said that, bringing it up. I was like, I know that Kingsman is very Bond adjacent, and I thought that might have an effect on you because I know you're not a big Bond guy. So it actually doesn't. It surprises me a little bit less. Yeah, but, you know, and Jake says, yeah, he's a fucker. I love it. And PJ saying they don't actually shoot the dog. No, but the argument is they would have because they didn't know that. Yeah. They had in their mind that they could shoot the dog. Taron didn't, though. Luckily, Taron didn't.
I mean, all right. Fire a blank at the dog, and the dog did have fucking pancreatitis.
That's true, but he did take care of the dog for the rest of his life.
He still shot the thing.
Would you shoot a dog, Maddie, if you would get whatever superpowers you ever wanted? No. Mixed, combined. No,
I'm not a monster.
Yeah, you're not a fucker.
I'll beat the shit out of a human being, no problem. But a dog, hell no.
You and me.
You and me both, bro. See, that was simpatico.
No, PJ, you missed the point. We understand the instinct of making hard choices and being rewarded. I get that. The idea is. You can say they shoot the dog because they actually, in their minds, they were made the decision to shoot the dog. That's not a heroic trait. That's not a heroic trait to us, making that hard thing. I
didn't write the script, bro.
You get rewarded, and in my mind, you get rewarded for saying, no, I'm not going to shoot the dog, even if there's blood involved. I get that argument.
Taron Egerton's a hero for not shooting the dog.
Or for not even, not shooting the dog.
But the rest of them did.
All right, we got Kick-Ass for Maddie. Jarvie, how about you?
Yeah, so if Maddie said he always wanted to be a superhero and never wanted to be Bond, being a spy was like, I still want to become a friggin' spy if I could, if we're going that route. But honestly, when you compare both these groups of heroes, there's nothing bad to say about either of those movies. I feel like Aaron Taylor Johnson, Nick Cage, Chloe Grace Moretz, they're friggin' flawless. There's nothing bad to bring out. Same goes for Kingsman, Taron Egerton, Colin Firth, Mark Strong, and even the girl who played Roxy, Sophie Cookson, I think her name is. So what it comes down to, really, I think I'm going with Kingsman because the story arc is, I mean, it's a bit more interesting and it's a bit more of a longer arc because Eggsy starts out as you said before, like a pleb. He comes from nothing, from the British ghetto, and works himself up to become a freaking Kingsman agent, a savior of the entire world. So I know it's kind of like we're comparing, one is more of a contained story against the other one, but I mean the heroes are all, I don't know. If I could hang out with either of them from either of the movies, I'd pick Kingsman. I mean, come on, I want to go on a freaking mission with them.
All right. Jake saying Kingsman win because there's no anal in Kick-Ass. I will say there's no anal that you see. I don't know. There's stuff going on. You never know. But all right. So we got 1-1. Therefore, it's up to me for this one. heroes versus on both sides here. It's kind of always comes down to a favorite staying of mind, the quantity of quality, as it were. And I think I got to slide toward Kick-Ass. I think I do. I'm going to talk myself into it in a minute. I'm going to as I talk about this. I think my favorite of the bunch is Taron Egerton.
Stop grinning.
Taron Egerton is my favorite of the bunch by far. I think he's far better than Aaron Taylor Johnson is, and I like Aaron Taylor Johnson, but I think that Taron Egerton's this character is very singular, very very fun, very unique. I think the character holds up very well. So then it comes down to the rest of them, and the rest of them you got Mark Strong, and you have Colin Firth. Colin Firth's awesome. Colin Firth is awesome, but God, I love Grace Moretz in this one. I love Nick Cage in this one as well. They're so out there and so bizarre and so unique. So which is the one that wins for me, though? I wanted to lean towards Kick-Ass, but God, Colin Firth has that scene, which we're going to get to. I know we're going to get to in a later, in a later part of the story here. But if you go with heroes, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm jumping back. I'm going to go Kingsman. I think the combination of Colin Firth and Taron Egerton together are just too much to overcome. As much as I love Chloe Grace Moretz, it's just not enough. Aaron Taylor Johnson's not enough to win it over for me. So I'm going to go with Kingsman.
Counterpoint. And this is not to influence your argument at all.
Bullshit, but go ahead.
You're picking Taron Egerton and Colin Firth over Nick Cage. I just want that on the record on this show.
And Mark Strong.
And
Mark Strong.
You're going against
Mark Strong's on the hero side.
Show. I just want that on the record.
That is tough for me to do. That is very tough for me to do.
I need an answer, counselor.
God, I want to exchange.
You're going with heroes versus heroes. You're not going actor versus actor.
Nick Cage plays a pretty sweet hero.
I want Nick Cage in the Kingsman.
Awesome.
I'm still going to stick with Kingsman. I think.
Okay.
But good try. A for effort.
Okay. Let the course stenographer make note the POD went against Nick Cage.
Nick Cage, it's very hard for you to do. I feel a little heartache there, but it was a close fought battle. So, all right, we'll move on to better villains. Matt, do you want to start with better villains?
I did hear it. I started with heroes.
All right, Jarvie, you can start with it. God, thanks so offended.
Okay,
Be so offended. Jeez, be so offended about it.
No, I'm just trying to be fair. Jesus.
I like going last night. I like playing from behind, like Team Action always used to do in the movie Trivia Showdown. So, and
you're going first.
Like Taron Egerton
you're going first.
Did,
next one.
Like Taron Egerton did in Kingsman.
Hey-o.
Go ahead, Jarvie. Then you go with better villains.
This one was a clear-cut winner for me as Kingsman. I love Kick-Ass, Mark Strong, Frank D'Amico, and Christopher Mintz-Plasse as Red Mist. But I mean, Samuel L. Jackson with a freaking lisp and a tech giant who tries to take over the world, kill not half the population, but just do a freaking call. And his sidekick is the gorgeous and lethal and dangerous Sophia Boutella as Gazelle. I mean, that is a freaking awesome henchwoman, and just in all categories, it just takes Kick-Ass and kicks its ass.
And not only that, I'm just going to jump on right here with you. And not only that, you have Michael Caine as a villain.
I mean, he's more of a shit weasel because he jumped ship like that. So he's kind of like the traitor shit weasel because he's a good guy. He's built up the Kingsman, and he sees some of the logic in what Samuel L. Jackson is saying.
I will say, until he says, unless we agree on some political beliefs, I was kind of like, wait a second.
He also was very anti Taron Egerton because of where he came from. He's very snobby. So I definitely got to say him as more a villainous side than a heroic side. Maybe Michael Caine's character could have been a hero in a prequel, so to speak. And I did actually see Kingsman, but in this movie, he is definitely a villain. And I got to agree with you on that because I think that Sam Jackson and Sophia Boutella are a phenomenal cast of characters. Mark Strong, great, but it's very stereotypical. There's nothing very memorable about his particular role. He's good at his job, but almost anybody could have done that. I could have put Ed Harris in that role, like I said, and it would have been better. It's hard to do that with other characters in the Kingsman. And who else is on the Kick-Ass? Like Christopher Mintz-Plasse. I mean, he's funny, but he's kind of weird. But it's not a
the henchman. The henchmen are there, but they're all like goons, funny goons, but like that's sort of
that's quantity. It's not quality. It's a quantity of non-quality really over there at this point. And that's not even saying they're bad. It's just compared to the top three you got in Kingsman. I got to go with that. Maddie, what about you?
I mean, shout out to Mark Strong forever proving that Brits can do American accents better than Americans can do British accents.
That's fair.
But
that's fair.
In Kick-Ass, he is essentially Norman Osborn without the Green Goblin.
Ah,
there you go.
Yeah,
it's his character.
Yeah.
So I love the tech billionaire that wants to take over the world and put it in their image. Surprise, we seem to be having this conversation quite a bit lately on this show with Glass Onion and now with Kingsman. But even if we were to extend this further to the second ones, I kind of sympathize with Poppy because she was looking for the decriminalization of drugs, or something that I'm all for. So Kingsman seems to find a way to put more relativity into the villains, whereas I feel Kick-Ass, they just went, okay, Norman and Harry Osborn, but not the goblin, but without the goblins. That was essentially it. Yeah. And I get that it's like a parody kind of take on them. But sorry, Javi, go on.
I'm sorry, I keep interrupting. No, my connection that's fucking it up.
No, it's fine. I kind of like stopped and then continue, guys. Please.
I wanted to say he's not Norman Osborn, but he does get shot out the window with a freaking bazooka. I mean, there's some similarities to the Green Goblin. If you really look for it. Did you realize that Valentine is pretty much Thanos? He's trying to do the same thing. He's trying to save the world by doing a call. Thanos was just like, I want to snap my fingers and do it in a more humane way. He just wants the world to kill itself. So Valentine kind of, I'm not I'm not gonna go that route.
No,
you know what I mean.
It's a valid point.
As PJ says, that's like saying Anakin is right for killing Jedi and Sith.
I mean, I'm not going to say he was wrong.
I'm not going to say
he killed Liam.
He killed Liam.
Kill that little shit.
Fucking Liam.
I'm not going to say he was wrong for it because the Jedi were kind of arrogant pricks at the time who kind of deserved it. But if you want to hear a take like that, you can go, holy smokes.
That's true.
Anakin was also like Thanos. He was also balancing the Force.
Because he killed everyone.
By calling the kids.
Saying, fuck them kids. That's what he
exactly.
As he does. All right. So your final ground then, Maddie, for villains then?
Kingsman.
You are going Kingsman now. Okay. That's what I figured. That's one. Okay, cool. I'm done with that one then. So the next category we have is better mission or story. Better mission or story. I guess Jarvis wants me to do this one for some reason.
Well, you don't have to, but
I haven't done one yet. That's fine. This was one of the toughest ones for me because they both have very unique stories. They both have very cool beginnings. Getting to see both characters in a lowly place in the beginning. Obviously, Terran's in the beaten up house towards the end. He lives with an awful stepfather, just trying to do the best he can. But he's kind of grown up rough. You got obviously Kick-Ass. Dave. He's kind of a bullied kid, not very popular and everything else. But go on some great, cool little transitions. I do think it's cool that Kick-Ass tells a very unique story in terms of you put a character who his only goal is he wants to be a superhero. And it's actually kind of it's a question that when he asks his friends the question, it's like, you know what? I don't know why that hasn't happened. Why don't more people try to be a superhero? Obviously they don't have superpowers, but I feel like some people are crazy enough in the world where they would try to put on a Batman mask and go fight crime. Why doesn't it happen? Or maybe it does, we just don't hear about it. But it's kind of got an innocence to it, which is very kind of nice in a way. But it's also, I say innocence, but also half the movie is about him masturbating and having sex with his girl. There's a lot of that in there as well. But there is still an innocence.
What's wrong with that?
I'm wrong with that. There's an innocence to it. Then on the other side, you get Kingsman, which, goddamn, Kingsman, I guess you got to put this part of the story, is a world lore building machine. Also, we learn all this stuff about a secret like division of the government that we have no idea about before. I love when they do stuff like the tailors, and they have the secret rooms and the secret things, and the whole secret missions, and they have this whole setup of how things are going to be, and they're testing them, but they're really like the tests, like the dog test, the drowning tests, those tests where like they actually push you.
Skydiving.
The skydiving test where they put you in this place. It's 3 times they fool you. Like you should have been the audience and the the competitors.
Train also 4.
The train also. That's the 4th. That's right. That's the 4th time. These like fake out death sequences just to test your mettle. But they're so much fun that way. And then you have like your main mentor getting killed like he did. I mean, you can kind of say Nick Cage is killed too, but Nick Cage wasn't really his mentor, so it's kind of like it's a strange little sidebar. At the end of the day, Kick-Ass is a fun, cartoony thing. I think Kingsman's story is better, especially when you put in the whole his father dying and Colin Firth trying to do everything to repay his father, the kid's father who saved him. And it's just a fun tale of a lot of different cartoonish things with the megalomaniacal plot that goes on. They're very much they make fun of it for being so crazy. Like they have these great lines between Samuel L. Jackson and Colin Firth. They talk about loving Bond movies and loving over the top stuff, and yet they're doing it. They do all that stuff. So to me, I like that story better than just I want to be a hero and I get messed up and I kind of bumble into it's not really a story. It's just kind of like a day in the life of this weird kind of character, just what he does. Or obviously not day, but you know what I'm saying. So then I think the story is more driven and more plot based in Kingsman: The Secret Service. I think it serves that better. So I'm going to go Kingsman.
Mm.
Maddie, what about you?
I'm going with Kick-Ass.
Of course you are.
Because hear me out, and I'm being fair and objective here.
Absolutely, good. I'm just joking.
I mentioned to you guys before the stream. To me, Kingsman was Bond meets Spy Kids meets kidulthood, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, it's fun, but it's something that I've seen a million times growing up.
Right.
Like maybe it is just because I'm so used to the Britishness and the Britification of it all that it was just kind of like, oh, that was cool. But for me, Kick-Ass was a new take at the time. It was a new take on the genre of superhero movies. We'd had stuff like Iron Man, all the Batman movies, all the Superman movies, all the Spider-Man movies. Kick-Ass came in and just like, let's just do an R-rated superhero movie, not for kids. Let's just kill everyone, like gory kills, like everything. And it really, if we think about it, it was kind of opening the door for Deadpool. It opened the door for a show like The Boys, for people to be like, okay, it's okay for us to do this. Like, we don't have to take superhero movies so seriously. We can have fun, push the boundaries of them, make them from a more adult audience. And I feel that was kind of revolutionary at the time. Whereas, I don't know, as I say, maybe I'm just so used to the kind of story that Kingsman tells that I was just like, okay, this is fun. This does what it says on the tin. But Kick-Ass did something different at the time that made me be like, huh, this is cool.
I will say you didn't win me over, but I do appreciate that point of view. I do like that. You got closer to me than I thought I was going to. Those are good points. Those are very good points. Before we get to Jarvis' tiebreaker in this situation, I missed this question earlier, but I kind of want to touch base on that. Chris O says, who would make a better Bond, Aaron or Taron?
Aaron.
I mean, they're just.
Isn't Aaron in talks for Bond?
Yeah. Taron was as well.
At one point, Taron was as well.
Rumored. He was rumored.
He rumored, started to say. I think I'd have to go with Aaron as well, especially because Aaron now is a little different than Aaron was at Kick-Ass time. He's grown up a little bit more, and I feel he couldn't handle the suaveness back then. He'd handle the suaveness now. Taron almost, I feel, would be too cheeky, too tongue-in-cheek in a way, like too much in a way as a Bond guy. I feel like to me. So I'd go there as well.
Yeah, Aaron Taylor Johnson for Bond, Taron Egerton for Wolverine is my pick.
Wolverine. I just have a hard time.
I think Taron is short, he's stout, he's fierce, he's built like a fucking brick mansion.
It'd be interesting. I have a hard time picturing anybody outside of the man as Logan, but we'll have to say. All right, Jarvie, give us to me for your take on Better Mission Story.
I really liked what Maddie said about the story of Kick-Ass. Like I don't even think it's a superhero movie. It's a comic book movie because there is no real superpowers in there. But you could argue that Aaron Taylor Johnson he gets his nerve ends fucked up, so he can feel pain. But no one really has like actual superpowers, right?
Right.
They're just they're heroes. It's a hero movie,
right?
But yeah, Kick-Ass is a smaller and more local story, but it does have the originality factor about it, which I do appreciate, because if you put it up against Kingsman is a way bigger budget. It's a way bigger story. It's a heightened version of a spy story, a heightened version of Bond. It's a very global story. You could even argue that it's kind of a traditional spy story. There's not a lot of originality about it. It's got a megalomaniac. It's got the origin story of a spy and all the sort of traditional kinks and the gadgets and everything about it. But the way Matthew Vaughn tells the story is what makes it stand out, I feel like. And I think the lore and the world building of the Kingsman and just how they set up Harry Hart as a character and how much history is behind that. I mean, they did a prequel as well, The Kingsman, and it feels not the best movie. It's an okay movie, but there's so much richness. There's so much story to it. So I got to go with Kingsman.
Okay, I get you on that. PJ, yes, Batman doesn't have superpowers and is still a superhero. Yes, he does. He's rich.
Oh,
Ben Affleck said that in Batman vs Superman. He told you that's why.
Isn't being the world's greatest? Isn't his like detective power sort of supernatural?
No, it's not supernatural. He's just the world's greatest detective. He's just the world's greatest detective.
He's got the voice though.
The voice might be supernatural. That might be.
It's something.
It's definitely something. All right, then let's move on to better music, better soundtrack, better tunes. Maddie, I'll let you begin music because you're the music man here.
I will say Kingsman did get my vote for this one because there were so many songs that, like, growing up and like hanging around London, that I did recognize, like them using like Rudimental and Dizzy Rascal. I was kind of like, okay, yeah, this is like where he's doing the parkour. He's doing like the parkour in the council estate while Dizzy Rascal's playing. I'm like, my God, that is so British. That is so English. I can't even. I did love the Kick-Ass using the 28 Days Later theme when Big Daddy's like walking through the warehouse killing everyone, and they're using the For a Few Dollars More theme.
Yes.
When Hit Girl walks in the building, I thought that was pretty cool. But them using like Kingsman using Dizzy Rascal, Rudimental, Dire Straits, hell, they even used Take That at one point. So, yeah. I mean, Kick-Ass using the Prodigy was kind of cool, but I'm going to give this one to Kingsman.
To me, it came down to two songs used because music actually was fine. I think the music was fine on both sides. I did like a lot of the energetic uses of both sides of the music, so I agree. So it came down to my favorite musical moments, and in Kick-Ass, it was the completely random, but yet somehow absolutely works moment where they have Elvis Presley's American Trilogy, the live version. This is the jetpack and everything else. It's even live. You hear the crowd like hearing after it. It's like, what a random choice to use as a badass moment. And I'm like, it completely works. It completely works. However, you're talking about all the English songs and the British songs in Kingsman. It was a southern rock band that made its presence felt in Kingsman during a certain action sequence. Freebird just took the cake.
Oh God,
the best.
The cake for me in that. That was the best needle drop of both sides as far as I'm concerned. So I have to give it to Kingsman as well.
Yeah, it's also the way Freebird meshed together with the sound of the chips going off, like the screeching sound, sort of worked with the guitar solo coming up.
So good. So good.
You guys mentioned a lot of my points already. Dire Straits, Bonkers, Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass had actually a pretty interesting like instrumental score as well. It used some of the like rock music beats and it mixed it in with the instrumental themes, but it was mostly like rock and pop songs that it used there. What makes Kingsman stand out to me, besides all of the awesome popular songs, was the score by Henry Jackman, which is a very distinct score. It is like whenever the theme comes on, you feel like this is a Kingsman movie. They use it throughout Golden Circle. They use it throughout The Kingsman as well, and it's a great friggin' theme, and that's what etches it up for me, Kingsman.
Okay, all right, there we go. Well, now we are at the final battle. Final battle is where it's better action, and I'll start this one. Man, they both have some great actions. It's funny when I talked about before this whole battle began, the whole trial began. I mentioned watching Kingsman and then watching and being like, "Oh, there's no way Kick-Ass can even come close," and then watching Kick-Ass and being very much amazed and oh, this is a lot closer than I thought. Part of that was the action sequences. The action sequences in Kingsman are so fun. They're so good. They're so like it's the music, it's the pulse pumping, it's the Colin Firth fucking church sequence is one of my favorite action sequences of all time because it's just pure, utter, violent chaos on every single particular level. It's I love it. He just called out the bitch for being a cunt and everything else. Satan, hail Satan, have a good day.
That got me. I was like, okay,
yep. Boom. And the whole rest of the time, he's like, they have this whole. It's like a ballet of violence, and it's not what you expect out of Colin Firth. Like I tell you, it's not what you expect.
Exactly.
Which makes it even better. That. And combine that with the earlier battle, the first time you see Colin Firth in action in the pub, manners make it man, and he just locks the door, starts it with the glass. Damn, that was good. Damn, that was fun. Not even counting all the time the Taron Egerton stuff and all that. The final battle, whole messed up sequence at the end there, it was in the bunker or whatever, and Sofia Boutella with the blades, so good. All right. Now, Kick-Ass did surprise me with how much I didn't remember how good the action was. The Hit Girl stuff was very similar in theme and tone, which is quick, violent, chaotic ballets. And you see a 14-year-old girl or whatever, however old she is, 12-year-old girl doing it is even more amazing than seeing Colin Firth do it. Because it's like, what the hell is going on? It's like Robin in front of your eyes. It's actually, this is our Robin we've never gotten. And he got some great, the bazookas in there. You got the jetpack. You got all this kind of stuff, which made me go, wow, it's actually a lot better than I thought. But I still lean towards Kingsman. I can't get over it. For the same reason the music, that church sequence is my favorite of both movies by far. So to me, it's Freebird. The Freebird action sequence wins for me.
Yeah, and you don't feel bad about the people that he's killing in the church. I know it's a bad thing to say, but they're like the worst type of people in there as well.
Yeah,
like, I think she even says something very sort of racist and super inappropriate to Colin Firth. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah,
pretty much like you're religious nuts in the worst possible way.
Right.
And yeah, he just friggin' goes to town on them.
So
I remember you mentioned the bazooka. There was a funny moment where the henchman takes the bazooka, goes right across from Mark Strong. He goes, "A bazooka? Okay."
I always wanted one of these.
That's all right. Okay.
That was a funny sounding bazooka.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm preaching to the choir here. I feel like I want to give it to Kick-Ass, but everything that Kick-Ass does, Kingsman just does it a little better.
That's a little better. That's a key point you say right there.
Exactly. It's unfair to Kick-Ass because I think the Big Daddy sequence when he's going through the warehouse, the lights are going on and off. He's just doing his Batman thing there. and also the sequence where Hit Girl is cutting through the bad guys, and Big
Literally.
Daddy is on fire, just like screaming, doing his last bit. I mean, such an emotional moment. But the way the way Matthew Vaughn shot the action sequences, how the camera moves with the falls, with the twists, with the jumps, with the bullets, everything. It's just a more completer movie and more completer action, and it's
I love it.
way more fun. Unfortunately,
Maddie,
sorry, you guys.
Maddie, you're an action guy. I mean, tell me about it. What do you think?
Let me start with love. I appreciate the goriness, the action, the sequences in Kingsman. I liked that church sequence is fucking brilliant. However, the way those action sequences were edited fucking bothered me. They really bothered. I do not like action sequences that are so like choppy and cut up like that. I that's a thing. It's not just Kingsman. It's in all movies when they do it like that. It just I'm like, I feel like if that church sequence, if they'd have just like focused on Colin Firth and just like followed him through and not like cut to like some random person dying or cut to his gun being thrown halfway across the room, if they'd have just like kept it on Colin Firth and had him like flow like he was, because it was almost like he was doing like a dance and then he would get hit but then he would just go straight back to it. I feel like if they kept it on him and like flowed with him, it would have looked a lot cooler. But like having it like cut up, I was just like, please just stop. And like doing slow-mo like every 15 seconds, I was like, oh my god, like please just make this stop. Like do I have to watch this fight sequence on 2x every 15 seconds like that? And I get this is such an action snobby thing for me to say, but in movies that really bothers me when they do like really cut up choppy action. It bothered me in Kick-Ass too. It bothered me exactly the same in Kick-Ass, but that kind of action in Kick-Ass warrants that type of editing of the action more because it's a comic book superhero movie. You want it to be crazy and sporadic, whereas the way Colin Firth was moving and the way he was shooting, I want it to flow with him as he does it. And it's just like, I was like, oh.
I have to.
I've only seen it once, so if I watch it again, I may be like, okay, like this is pretty good, and it is cool. But I'm just like the way it was edited. I was just like, oh my god,
wow.
They do cut a lot.
That's what drove me nuts.
But to me, I just want to push back a little bit. Is that I love the fact that because it's supposed to be an ultimate chaotic sequence that I thought the editing like that added to the chaotic, the stop and start, it's supposed to make you feel how this is supposed to be out of control chaos.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt like that's what it was working towards. So to me, everything you're talking about why you hated it is why I loved it. I literally, I mean, again, and you know what? I will bow down to you in terms of you're more of an action as far as action sequences go like that.
I'm a snob when it comes to action. I'm sorry. I know it's such a snobby take. But I'm just like, oh.
And I get that.
Don't apologize.
Yeah, don't apologize. We love what we love and we hate what we hate. I get it. So it doesn't connect with for whatever reason. It connected with me completely. So it's my favorite, one of my favorite action sequences of that year. So I think PJ is on our side. What is happening?
This is weird. This is weird.
Buddy Matty, this is exactly how I feel about him right now. Stop it.
Like when he grabs the umbrella and flings the glass. Why are you zooming in on the glass? Just show the glass hitting the guy in the head. Like that's all you need to do. I don't need to zoom in on I know he's throwing a glass. I don't need to see what he's throwing because I can already see it.
But I think again, it just works for me. It's part of how it fits with the music, how it swings with. It just feels like it goes with everything.
Rhythmic.
It's a rhythmic thing. Yeah. I mean, but Kelly is saying she's heard stunt guys make some of their comments. Hey, that makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. It's hard for me to wrap my head around you not liking that for that reason, but like
it's cool. But I'm like, you could have I would have preferred personal preference. I would have preferred, especially that church scene is the big one. I feel like if they had done it like just kept it on Colin Firth the whole time instead of looking at his gun that was thrown halfway across the room, like cool, he picked up another gun. Why am I looking at a gun all the way over there when he's got one, like he's just about to pick another one up?
And to me, that would make it so much worse. That's what's so funny about this. It would make it so much worse for me. This is why I love it so much. So, but either way, okay, I get it. You know what? You got to do what you got to do. You got to say what you got to say. You got to love what you got to love.
I will take the brunt of this. I will take the heat.
I wish we had a category better conclusion, because do you know what Kingsman ends on? What is the final shot of the movie that Kingsman ends on?
I can't remember.
Isn't it the Taylor?
It's the ass.
Oh, is it the answer? Oh, yeah, the
yeah, it's the very final shot.
And then the thing closed. That's right. That's right. A lot of people hated that. Like, that actually got a lot of people up in arms about that ending. I don't know why. I think you're being too prudish. I thought it was funny as hell. I thought it was fun. I thought it was funny as hell. I'm all in on that, literally. Anyway, so that's how. That's how we end our trial. So I don't think this is going to be much of a surprise if you've been following along. Kick-Ass got its ass kicked. At this point, Maddie, you were wrong. Your first inclination was wrong. The final score of 12-3. 12 to 3.
I gave every single category to Kingsman, and I'm sorry. I realize I did that, but I did it because it was just better in every category. I almost didn't want to do it.
Jarvie, I did the same thing. I also did.
All right. Oh, Maddie only gave it 3. Oh no, Kick-Ass did deserve more than 3 points, but I mean, it's fair.
It is what it is, man. I don't know what side I went to. 3, 5, 6,
is this like the new Tron Legacy versus Ready Player One matchup?
It could be. It could be the one we can go through. That like Kick-Ass was actually really, really good, and it should not have gotten its ass kicked like this because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't deserve the ass kicking it got. But that's what happens sometimes in the trial.
Good job, ass kick.
ass kick. Ass kick. Hired the wrong lawyer today, I guess, unfortunately. But that's it.
Damn, I'm a public defender.
It was a barrister.
It was a barrister. Public defender. All right, guys, that's the end of the episode for today. I want to make a quick announcement going forward. I made this. Funny thing is, I already made this announcement on Two Mediocre White Dudes. At least I recorded it, but you're not going to hear that till Thursday. So you're actually hearing this announcement first thing here. The announcement is that Class Action and Two Mediocre White Dudes, both shows, are going to be going on a bi-weekly basis from now on. I'm going to say that because I was on 4 weekly podcasts. On March, I'm actually starting to produce SEN Live for Christian Harloff. And with all that kind of stuff and life and everything else, I just need a way to make things work. I found myself not being able to watch anything that wasn't involved in podcast. It gave me a little burnt. I'm not going to lie. I love talking with everybody. I love doing content here. But I feel like if I pull back just a little bit, then we will have better content overall. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start next week. We're gonna have a Class Action next week, and then a week after that it'll be Two Mediocre White Dudes on Film. So therefore, we will alternate every week. We'll always have a weekly show that's coming in place. Holy Snokes will still stay weekly because that's a weekly review show, basically. Crown Jewels will be mostly weekly, except for when I get to popular songs that some episodes take really quick to do. Like when I get to songs like Bohemian Rhapsody, that's going to be a long time to do. It might take a couple weeks to do that one. So that's going to go on. But this will open up a lot of opportunities for us because we are going to do a couple different things. I have some irregular podcasts I'm going to do, which I'm not announcing quite yet. I'm very close to announcing. I want to do 2 more things. They will be released in bulk form here and there. And also, because we have this extra time during the week, we might go live. We might do some live streams every once in a while. Like PG and I did our DC movie slate the other week when we were supposed to be recording Two Mediocre White Dudes because we want to talk about it. We might have those openings where we go, well, something big's happening. Let's just go live and hang out and talk about the news breaks instead of having a structured show. But yeah, that's what we're doing. I think it's going to be good for the show, good for the channel, good for everything else as well. So hopefully you guys will stick around with us for that time. Yeah. So, Matty, where can the folks find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Matty Gunner, Instagram Matty_Gunner. You can find my band Mourner, MOURNER, on all DSPs. I'll announce it now. We have a new song coming out in April 7th, titled The Axe Forgets. If you're an Andor fan, you will know that reference. And you can find me here on Tuesdays now every other Tuesday these two lovely gentlemen for Class Action, and every Wednesday with this gent that way, Paul, for Holy Snokes.
And Mr. Javi.
You can find me on Instagram and Facebook.
Yours is actually okay. I will say yours is actually all right, Javi.
At Richard Eric with a K Javi, and here bi-weekly on Tuesdays on Class Action. I was wondering if we're doing live shows and like impromptu things, could we ever do like a drunk hang where we have drinks and just friggin'?
I don't know.
The only time I have to do
I've been wanting to do that for a while now.
The problem I have is that like our schedules don't work out very well because I work at nights, and then when you're up, and then I have to go to work. So we'll have to figure out some schedule. We definitely could do it.
We're Europeans. Day drinking is our thing. It's fine.
If it's on the weekend, we can do day drinking.
Yeah.
All right. I like that. I'll definitely do some more stuff like that. We'll also do some fun. I think we can also do some live random things that we haven't been able to do, like top 10 lists and things like that, and like ranking movies and stuff. We can do that during our live streams as well. It should be fun. But for right now, you can find me on Paul_Denuzio on Twitter. You can find me here every other week on Class Action, every other week on Two Mediocre White Dudes on Film, every week on Holy Snokes, every kind of week on Crown Jewels, Journey Through Queen. You can also find me on 2 other podcasts coming soon, one of which I haven't made the announcement because I'm waiting to do something, but you know what it is. Second one you don't know about, but I have a kind of a cool interview coming for that to kind of kick that off a little bit. But yeah. And
we didn't actually announce it. I just remembered. It's in the show we did.
Did I? Did I announce it?
Yeah, you did.
Did I announce it? I might have announced it. Well, if you know what it is, I'll announce it.
Well, you let it slip.
I did. All right, fine. The Harrisons is coming. I'm not going to get the trailer yet. Yeah, fuck it. We'll do the trailer now. Do it.
You got anything to say before I blow your brains out, you miserable prick?
Let me tell you 2 things, Armstrong! 1, I am filled with power!
Fuck the machine! Fuck the machine! What is this, courtesy class? You fucked me. You're not on my side. If you see me coming, you better run because I'm gonna lay you the fuck down!
So breathe, baby. God damn it, breathe! God damn it, you bitch! You never backed away from anything in your life! Now fight! Fight! God damn it! Fight!
You call it what you want! You're down there, we're up here! You walked into the wrong goddamn room, Commander!
The Harrisons, the series dedicated to going through every single IMDb credit of one Edward Allen Harris. Coming soon to PLD Projects. Finally, be ready.
Failure is not an option.
I hadn't seen the graphic yet.
Oh, you hadn't?
Holy shit.
What's the movie where it goes, I will lay you the fuck out?
That would be Gone Baby Gone. Great movie.
That was Gone Baby Gone?
That is. The great moment with Casey Affleck. It's a great monologue. The whole thing is really good. Yes, because I did announce it on Patreon. I did announce it then. But I bet I didn't have it announced in public. That's what I had meant. But yeah, so there we go. That's what's coming. Probably in the springtime. I'll lay it all out here. I want to get a few episodes in the can, so to speak, and then release them bulk. I got the first one almost done already, but I want to get done. So probably sometime in the spring, we'll debut it and go from there. First couple ones should be pretty quick ones because their IMDb credits are like his guest appearances on some TV shows, which are, the first one I don't even have the full episode to watch. I have like a 3-minute scene I downloaded from YouTube, but it has facts and information, which could be kind of cool too. But most importantly, I'll be in the Harris stats, which is going to be a part of the podcast. Right? We'll get into that on the first episode. We're going to be keeping track of some stats of Edward Allen Harris. So from there.
The people have been demanding this for a long time now, Paul. So
I have.
It's about time.
It is about time. It's about time. Yes. And another irregular one will be coming up shortly. I'll announce that one pretty soon, too, because I have an interview which will kick it off, a special interview, which I'm very excited about. But that's it for this time, guys. Stay tuned until next week. I think we're going to do Ant-Man Quantumania, because it's coming out. We're going to do Ant-Man Quantumania. We're going to do it versus, what do we decide? We had a couple different ideas. Do we
either Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, or Captain America: Civil War,
Or Spider-Man: No Way Home was the other one. We want to do a different MCU movie
Yeah.
to it. I
Uh-huh.
would bank on either, probably not Civil War, but probably Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, because they do seem like they're the most
Mhm.
visually connected in a way. They kind of feel like they have the same aesthetic. So, yeah, we'll do that. So look forward to that. Either definitely Ant-Man, and we'll see what the other choice is going to be. Until next time, stay class, everybody. We love you.